This is my third time filming a video today. I think I've been filming for the past nearly 2 hours, and that's because I ran out of storage and it cut halfway through. So, welcome back to Christopher Opal. Today, we're doing something different than the first video. My girlfriend suggested that I sit down and ramble. And so I've got coffee, got the mic, and I've got my computer here, which has ChatGPT pulled up. And what we're gonna do for the third time, but for you the first time, is we are going to type in, give me a random watch to talk about. And I type that in, and it will give me a response. And it said the Seiko's Presage cocktail time. Unbeknownst to you all, that was the second video that I just filmed that cut halfway through and I had to scrap about the Seiko. The first one was about the moon watch, which was really interesting. Wish you could have heard it. Give me another, please. Always be polite to AI so they don't kill you in the apocalypse. Sure, how about the Omega Speedmaster Professional? We are. Give me another, please. The Rolex Explorer 2. This one is a bit of a sleeper in the Rolex lineup compared to its most famous siblings like the Submariner or the Daytona. But it is a fantastic tool watch with a rich history. The Explorer 2, specifically the reference 216570. I'm going to type that in. Rolex Explorer. How do you spell oh, yeah, I know. I got it. Rolex Explorer 2 reference. So I just typed in the reference for the Rolex Explorer 2. Features a 42mm case, a bright orange 24-hour hand, and a fixed bezel with 24-hour markers. The design was originally intended for spelunkers and polar explorers who needed to distinguish between day and night environments where traditional timekeeping could be confusing, like when the sun doesn't set for long periods. It is rugged, legible, and highly functional, with the classic Rolex quality and craftsmanship, but it flies a bit under the radar compared to other models. Would you like to explore its heritage or maybe talk about its movements and features? Well, yes, I would, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. I'm sorry, it's very hard. I've had 2 cups of coffee. I filmed 2 videos, both of which I had to scrap, and they were great videos. My computer's dying. I'm dying. I'm not actually dying, but we are all dying slowly. And I spilled coffee on my shoes. On my shoes. Got it out though, so we're good. Let's see if we can get this video done. We're going to talk about the Rolex Explorer 2 reference 216570. That is the black dial review. Let's see if we can go to the official Rolex website. It's not pulling up. I've been seeing a lot of videos where it's like POV, you spent $53,000 at Rolex, and then POV, you spent $0 at Rolex. And now every time I think of Rolex, I think of those videos, and it's just absolutely hilarious. I'll try and put a link in the description. My account finally got verified, so I can do that now. Off the bat, I think Rolex has the best color rose gold. Well, Omega looks more like sleek. Theirs looks more shiny. Rolex's looks more shiny. Did I pass the Explorer 2? Let me see if I can just look up the reference in the Rolex thing. I can. Okay, so I'm assuming the reference is a match because I put reference 216570 in the search bar on the Rolex website, and it pulled up the Explorer 2 in both white and black. And they're the same price, same size, same everything. It's just different color dials. You have view variations, and then there's the black dial. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Personally, I love this watch. It's so incredible looking, and I'm not a big fan of the color orange. But the orange on this just works so well on the white dial. On the black dial, I can't do it. For some reason, I just can't do it. But on the white, yes, it's fascinating. I'm actually gonna turn this volume down just a little bit. Okay, so discover in 3D. What does that mean? I can turn it. Okay, so it's not too terribly chunky. It's got like the very well known clasp, the bracelet, which does feature the ability to change your strap. I know a lot of people wear them on NATO straps. One of the most famous is Adrian over at Bark and Jack. I know he has a white Explorer 2, and he wears his on a NATO strap, and I prefer that. I genuinely prefer that over the bracelet. The bracelet doesn't look terrible, although I mean the NATO strap does look more comfortable, distinguishing from day and night. High resistant to corrosion. Rolex uses oyster steel. I never understood what the oyster steel is. Is that like an actual type of steel, or is that just something coined by Rolex? Oyster steel belongs to the 904L steel family. Alloys most commonly used in high technology in the aerospace and chemical industries where maximum resistance to corrosion is essential. So it is steel, stainless, I'm assuming, as well. So we got a 42 millimeter diameter. Where's the lug to lug? It's trying to make me get a Kermit, and I don't want a Kermit. It's not giving me the specs. Why does no one have the specs for a Rolex Explorer 2? It was discontinued in 2021. Well, that's just sad. Well, they retail at $9,650, if I haven't mentioned that already. Dude, where are the specs for this thing? They have 330 feet water resistance, fixed bezel, 24-hour fixed bezel. Wow, there are no specs. There's literally no specs. I just want to know the lug, not Kurt Cobain, lug to lug. I swear, Google is so weird. I've never looked up Kurt Cobain in my life. 50.1. Okay, so that is huge if you think about that. However, you can tell by looking at it. If you just look at an image of it, especially like if you get to Discover in 3D, the design of the case, just the way that it just barely bends, I think it would wear just a smidge smaller. That, although it is a really chunky watch, it's extremely chunky. However, it's not as big as, no, it's actually bigger than the Moonwatch, the Mango Speedmaster Moonwatch. I think the Moonwatch, if I'm not mistaken, is 47.5 millimeters lug to lug. I'll put a correction here if I'm wrong. Looks like we have a 12.5 millimeter thickness and 22 millimeter lug or band width. Like I said, 330 foot, 100 meter water resistance. It is an Explorer. I'm pretty sure it does come with a screw down crown. Yeah, it has a twin lock crown with 2 rubber sealed zones. Some say the numerals and the triangle indices can fade, but others have not experienced this. If that has happened, you probably bought a fake Rolex. That's By the way, that was the AI overview. I found that thing really helpful, actually, like all the time. I hate that its name's Gemini, though. I'm never gonna call it that. So one thing I like particularly the Cyclops. Cyclops looks great. I love that it doesn't have a day. I love that it's just the date. I think if it had the day, it would be too crowded, especially because you've got Rolex. You got the logo, Rolex, Oyster Perpetual Date, Explorer 2, and then under that you've got Superlative Chronometer, officially certified, and then you've got Swiss made down at the bottom. That's the like Rolex insignia. So I just like it's a clean dial, even with all that text. It's such a clean dial, and I like the color of the color of the orange. Yeah, I forgot what the color was. I like the color of the orange. It's kind of a borderline between like kind of red, kind of orange. From a distance, it might even look red. If I take my glasses off, it looks orange. Actually, I'm just playing with you. I cannot tell. Is the text red or orange? It looks red. No, it's orange. Okay, so it says Explorer 2 in orange. Now I want to do something else. I'm going to look up Rolex Explorer 1. It's a little bit unfair to talk about the two, even though they are literally in the same Explorer family. What I have pulled up right now is the Rolex 36 millimeter Oyster Steel reference 124270. It's the Explorer 1, or known as the Explorer 36. With the, I'm pretty sure it only comes in a black dial, very common. I want to say, I do not think that this would look good on anything but maybe a strap, an exotic leather. I think that would look really good on it. It works, right? So you've got the triangle at 12 o'clock, and then you've got 3, 6, and 9 on the dial, of course, representing the 3rd hour, the 6th hour, the 9th hour. And then you've got rectangle indices. I'm sure you have, of course, you have loom, automatic movement. No, is it automatic or manual? It's automatic and manual. Bidirectional self-winding via rotor. For the Explorer 2, we have, I'm pretty sure it's not the same, but it's self-winding GMT function. So I think it's a little bit thicker because of the GMT function. And of course, the Rolex Explorer 1 comes in a 36 millimeter case, and I'm pretty sure there are other models. I think the loom is blue. And one thing that I really like is that they still, in modern times, they still use what people call the Mercedes hand. And a brief history on the Mercedes hand is it's not just for design. It has a purpose. And the purpose of the Mercedes hand and the use of it is when you see a lot of the older Rolex models, you see how, especially like if you look up really old Rolex models, not like the first Rolex models ever, but like some of the older ones that had loom. And before, loom had to be painted onto the indices on the hands, and it had like with a brush, and it had to be like painted on. And the use of the Mercedes, you know, it has like the Y shape on the hand. That was actually to hold the loom that was painted on there in place. And because when they did not have that on there, it was harder for it to do that. So the loom was individually placed in each section, divided up by the Y, which makes the Mercedes hands. So that was the use of the Mercedes hand. It wasn't just a design thing. And I'm assuming it was the same thing with the cathedral hand, how the cathedral has different, like, they're called cathedral hands because of like cathedral windows and how they resemble in design. I'm sure it had the exact same purpose because you see a lot of cathedral hands on old Hamilton models. A lot of pilots' watches have cathedral hands. If I'm not mistaken, pilots' watches mainly, I think, field watches as well. That was to hold lume into the hands, and so that's what we see the utilization. And now in modern times, that's not as necessary because we have technological advances that would allow us to not have to do stuff like that. However, I do appreciate Rolex's incorporation in leaving that as a sort not necessarily a trademark, but it's kind of a trademark. I'm wearing the Timex Q automatic with a red and black bezel, some bezel, not bezel, bezel ASMR. It does not feature a Mercedes hand. It features a T, and I'll put an image of it up on the thing. But it features a T, and it and during this, I'm assuming that it's just like kind of like a Rolex, like a homage to Rolex's use of the Mercedes hand, except it's a T Timex. But I mean, it would have served the exact same purpose as holding the lume based on the positioning of the T versus everything else. It would have that would have been the utilization of holding looms, which is a little bit of a wasn't much of a brief history. I like to ramble, but that's what this is. That's what this is. This is rambling about things, drinking coffee and rambling. So both of them utilize the Mercedes hand. Of course, the Rolex Oyster One, not Oyster One, Explorer One uses a silver hands. The other one, however, uses black hands for the second hand and for all three hands. And then the GMT hand, of course, is orange on the Explorer 2. The Explorer One does not come with a GMT function or a bezel design. It is simply just there. It is simply just Explorer watch. It was made to withhold severe conditions, so it was the Explorer watch. And then of course they came out with the Rolex Explorer 2, which featured the GMT hand and more of a Explorer watch. I think it honestly probably more durable. The Rolex Explorer 2, it's a hunk. So let's look at some reviews. All right, there was a little bit of a cut right there because I had to make sure that we were still rolling and we didn't run out of storage. So let's see if we can fly through these reviews really quick. A lot of these are. Let's see if we can go to a website that sells these watches. Because I don't want to start diving into articles, which is what I'm doing anyways. Yeah, so I'm scrolling through articles of people wearing them. This guy has his on a gray NATO, and wow, it just looks incredible. Wait a minute. I apologize for everything. There are two different types of Rolex Explorer 2s. There's one with a red hand. I completely blocked that out of my mind because ChatGPT mentioned the reference 216570, and that's just what I had looked up. I didn't even think about comparing the two. Okay, so let's do that. I'll copy this reference real quick. Rolex Explorer, and then I'm gonna go to Rolex.com. These retail for a good sum of money. Okie dokie. So we're gonna compare my two favorite, the Rolex Explorer 2 with the orange hand, a white dial, with the orange hand, and with the red hand. Now, honestly, I prefer the one with the red hand. It's like, it doesn't have the extra orange. I'm not saying either of them are, like, I'm not saying the one with the orange is bad. I think that's mint. It's really good. But the one with that red seconds hand, I just love. I'm pretty sure, is that called the broad arrow? I don't remember. Well, anyways, I think that it's so much better. It even looks better on a bracelet, which makes no sense because the other one doesn't look as good on a bracelet. I think my voice cracked. The one with the red seconds hand, the reference 16570, just superb. It looks incredible. And like I said, even on the bracelet and on a NATO. This guy's wearing his on a NATO. It's called the Rolex Explorer 2 Polar is what people are calling it. I deeply apologize for not mentioning this. I genuinely completely forgot that this was even a thing. Of course, they have the one with the black dial, but yet again, it's still not as interesting. It's not as fun. With having a white dial, I feel like it's more fun. It's more out there having a white dial watch, because black is so common on watches. I'm wearing a black dial. I think I only own black dial watches thus far. I'm looking to expand. I think the white. Oh. This guy has his on what looks like a rubber strap for the Rolex, and it does not look bad, but it doesn't look great. Looks cheap. Looks cheap. Even though it is $75, it looks cheap. Like I thought it was leather, and then I was like, oh no, it's rubber, and then I'm like, but is it plastic? So, that was my thoughts on that. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm not even going to mention who sells it. If you know, you know. You have to be in the know. And if you're not, sorry. Let me know what you guys think about these types of videos, by the way. Let me know how you like this camera angle. And, yeah. So, let me know in the comments which Rolex Explorer you prefer. The Rolex Explorer 2... GMT. They're both GMTs. The Rolex Explorer 2 with the orange or the red GMT hand. Let me know what you think. And dial color. Let's throw dial color in there. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Yeah, on a NATO, it just absolutely incredible looking. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I think that's great. That could definitely be something that I try and get in the future whenever I'm rich, which will never happen. But you know, I mean, anything can happen, so let's try and be hopeful. I think that's all I have to say about the Rolex Explorer 2. I know a lot more people who have actually had hands-on with such a watch. Definitely have a better take on it than I do, but if you enjoy these type of rambling videos from ChatGPT, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Like, subscribe, and comment. Goodbye.